Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Friday night, it's 8 PM, we're live and it's good to be back. I hope you're all doing well, feeling very rough after last night. So apologies for that, but it was the United Stand get together. But lots and lots and lots to discuss. Despite doing the Transfer Daily at 7 AM this morning, there is a lot to discuss. Is Ronaldo really going to leave Real Madrid? Some quite interesting developments around that. MILINKOVIC-SAVIC, there's some new news there. Golovin, who is he? Why was Mourinho watching him the other day? Fellaini, the ridiculous situation going on with him. Fred, we think is going to be done on Monday. The lot, why are we going to pay more than the release clause? All your thoughts, and we'll start off with a little bit of breaking news in relation to Matteo Darmian. Reports from Italy saying that Juventus want to pay £12 million for him, but United want 20 million. I mean, to be honest with you, I think United are probably do well to get any money for Darmian, but he is well thought of in Italy, definitely needs to go, certainly would be in the Deadwood Team FC, so move Darmian on ASAP, and if we can get a decent money for him, I suppose that's one thing that Mourinho does tend to do. Those days of selling Van Persie and Hernandez and Van Persie for a packet of crisps are gone. You know, we do get good money for people now, so maybe 15 million for Darmian would do it. But is Ronaldo really going to leave Real Madrid? I agree with all of you lot. I know exactly what you're all saying. You're like, oh God, Ronaldo every year, Ronaldo every year. Well, it won't be Ronaldo every year forever because Ronaldo won't play on forever. But what is happening is the situation with Ronaldo is that he was very, very close to Zidane. Zidane was Team Ronaldo more than he was Team Bale. Now, with Zidane going, people feel that that means Bale's got an opportunity to not have to leave Real Madrid because he likes Spain. And with Zidane going, Ronaldo potentially loses an ally. Ronaldo's already got issues, reportedly, with Perez, the president, because he wants a better contract. But Zidane was his ally. Zidane's gone now. Who's going to come into that vacuum? Ronaldo and Bale unlikely to both be starting for Real Madrid next season because of that political situation. One will go. Gary Neville has said, Bale's the one. I would, go and get Gareth Bale. I personally think I would still go for Ronaldo because he's the best player in the world. But Ronaldo is meant to be rocked by Zidane leaving, and that has left him, uncertain about what he wants to do. Capello, former manager of Real Madrid, has said that he sees Ronaldo going back to Manchester United. Why or what he knows about that, I don't know. But it's interesting because a lot of people are talking about this now, that Ronaldo wants the Manchester United move. As I said, was it on Instagram yesterday, or did I can't remember where I mentioned it yesterday, but I have heard from two separate people that Ronaldo wants to come back to Manchester United. Now, I don't believe it. Because if it was any other player, I'd probably believe it. Like in January when I was saying, yeah, I've been told Sanchez is coming. But with Ronaldo, it's too much of a dream for me. It's too much of a romantic story for me for Ronaldo to come back to Manchester United. I actually would go with the half-glass empty United fans who say, until I see them holding up a shirt, I don't believe anything. And then, to be honest with you, when it comes to Ronaldo, until I see him holding up a Manchester United shirt, I will not believe it, no matter how many stories there are about it. But Samuel says, give me Bale. Ronaldo I would take all day long, says Pankaj. Number 7, says Sim Sabi. Of course he gets number 7. Sanchez doesn't deserve number 7 anyway. Ronaldo's actually done something in that shirt. Ronaldo will unsettle the dressing room, says Maynak Sharma. I don't think the dressing room's that settled as it is, mate. I don't think it would be that much of a problem. Tough one. Think Ronaldo's the leader we need, says Shane Green, though. I certainly don't think Ronaldo would stand for a lot of what's gone on at United over the last season. And I do think since Zlatan's gone, United have lost that leader in the dressing room who's been there, done that. I know Matic is older, I know Sanchez is older, but then Matic isn't really a leader personality, and Sanchez hasn't won titles. He's not won Premier League titles, has he? So Ronaldo, but I do think Bale could bring that as well. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm not going to spend all night talking about Ronaldo tonight because it's a question mark, isn't it? Ronaldo to United, but things are trickling through and it doesn't feel the same as every other year where he wants a new contract. Of course, he could sign a new contract, but the interesting dynamic here is that we know Bale and Ronaldo, one of them's going to go this summer, and this Zidane thing has thrown it up into the air, and there are a few situations with Ronaldo that just keep tripping out. So let's see. Without getting too excited, let's see. And as I say, I won't believe it till he's holding up the shirt. MILINKOVIC-SAVIC, let's talk about him next. And I want to talk about Golovin. Aleksandr Golovin, CSK Moscow, plays for Russia. potentially who Mourinho was watching the other night when he watched Russia play Austria. But let's talk about Milinkovic-Savic first. Obviously, we speak about Milinkovic-Savic a lot. He is the player that defines the transfer window for me, for Manchester United. He is the player that we need to go and get. But interesting development with him today. This is coming from Italian reports, which obviously he plays in Italy with Lazio, that Juventus are interested in Milinkovic-Savic. Now, I should come with a disclaimer across the bottom of the screen now. Mark watches a lot of Serie A football, and I have done for many years. And one of my frustrations about the Italian league has always been they do move between clubs a lot. Remember with Pjanic, the Juventus player, he moved internally within Serie A. It happens a lot, so they'll get linked with English clubs, La Liga, and everything like that. But a lot of Italian players move between those leagues, and not just because they're Italian. They seem to like the league, so that happens quite a lot. And that is something that Milinkovic-Savic may well do. He may well just decide he wants to stay in there, and that's what the Italian report was saying, that his entourage are saying that he wants to move to Juventus. Now, the thing about Juventus is that would be a step up from Lazio. That would be like moving from, I suppose Lazio would be equivalent of an Everton, and Juventus would obviously be equivalent of a Manchester United. So you could see why Milinkovic-Savic playing in that league would want to do that. But I don't think Juventus can afford it. I think Juventus's biggest ever signing is Higuain, isn't it, for 80 million, which is a lot of money for an Italian club. Milinkovic-Savic is surely going to go for over 100 million. Now, he's probably worth 80 really, but in this market, over 100 million, especially if there's a decent World Cup. Juventus can't pay that. And that is sort of what the Italian paper, Calcio Mercato, was saying, that whilst Milinkovic-Savic may favour a move to Juventus, Manchester United and PSG are what Lazio would favour because they've got the bigger financial package. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, Chris says Savic will only come if Pogba goes, which will be a stupid swap. Milinkovic needs to come to United to smooth 2641. Do we all want Savic? Says Bad Brab 124H. Well, obviously not everybody, but I do. I definitely do. Lazio is more like Arsenal, says Maximilian. I nearly did say Arsenal because they are not very good anymore. But you know what I mean. Lazio are sort of like a top 8 team, between 8th and 4th. They're battling for those positions. I'll come back to that question in a minute. So yeah, Milinkovic-Savic, you could get disappointed because he, apparently wants to go to Juventus, but I think Pogba actually wanted to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona when we got him, and the money and the package and the romance of coming back to United drew him in. But footballers will have preferences. Pulisic is a United fan, but he could sign for Liverpool or Spurs this summer. It is the way it is. I think United can do that deal if they want to do it. Certainly think so. Somebody just said, Dan, are you getting concerned about how long it's taking for us to sign players? Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, let's do that, and then we'll talk about Golovin. I've got quite a lot of players to talk about tonight. Fellaini as well. Dalot, Fred, Golovin, and whoever you want to talk about as well. So please do share the video. Drop a like on the video. We're live for a lot longer yet. It's Friday night. Let's get the weekend. Let's get this weekend party started. Some music should kick in there. But in seriousness, Fred looks. I'm right on this one. No sauce. No sauce. There's no sauce on this sandwich. I just said I think he's going to sign on Monday or Tuesday because I think they'll get he is in England. They'll get the Brazil game out of the way on Sunday, and then we'll do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the deal's been signed, and it's just going to be all the photos, because you're going to get a day of rest after the game anyway. So I think he'll sign on Monday or Tuesday, and I've always felt that. Matthew McFadden, I don't know whether he's in the live comments, I haven't seen tonight. He said after the World Cup, because to be fair, Fred had said the same thing a couple of weeks ago. But Fred's going to get done. Fred's going to get done, and he is an exciting player because he offers us something very, very different. Very different. Small, good dribbler, tenacious, fast. We haven't really got that in the midfield. And he's a baller as well. He can play a bit of football. Of course, the risk with him is whether he can do it in the Premier League, because there's always that risk with every player. But I'm excited about that. So am I impatient about the deals that we're doing? Not yet. I think if the World Cup comes and we've not got 2 in and 2 out, then I'll say we've probably wasted a month. We've got to do that, because I think it will go quiet around the World Cup, because there's only certain players that you can sign, and I think big deals won't get done till July anyway. So 2 in and 2 out by the start of the World Cup in 2 weeks. I think we can do that, and I think that's fine. So I'm not too nervous at the moment. My 2 ins, I think we will have Fred and Dalot. The 2 outs, I think, will be Darmian and Fellaini, hopefully. And if that's the business, obviously we're not done, but I'd be quite happy with that. The situation with Dalot, just to bring you up to speed with that could happen this weekend. It could roll into next week. So he's got a £17.44 million release clause, but that doesn't kick in until June the 30th, which we'll be talking about again in a minute. Store that date. Put it in your diary. So 30th of June is when the release clause kicks in for Dalot. However, there are tax issues with a release clause because it's a lot more money goes to the player. It's basically on the player's back then. Whereas I think Dalot and a lot of players would rather the release clause wasn't activated and the clubs agreed a fee. And actually, I was reading something today about it that, if I've got this right, if United pay 20 million instead of 17.44 million, we actually pay less because of tax and stuff like that. So it looks like United will have to pay more than the release clause. And the reason they probably will do that is because if they wait till the end of June, there's always that opportunity for other clubs to come in. So it looks like we'll pay more than the release clause for Dalot, who I don't think he's going to be the sort of signing that's going to excite everybody by any means because he's not ready. He's a youngster. But he is the sort of signing that United should be making. So I think it's a positive signing, but it's not the sort of signing that's going to really get everybody excited because he's not an immediate solver of problems, is it? Matt says he loves the new thumbnail. Yeah, we've just mixed it up with the thumbnail. If people haven't seen the thumbnail, it's an old design that Drawty sent me a long time ago. I've got it saved on my computer and it was to do with Benzema. That's how old it must be, 2 or 3 years. And I looked at it and I went, I bloody love that thumbnail. So I've spent the last half an hour rejigging it to make it with the new logos and everything. So I just want to mix it up a bit because our thumbnails are really good, but especially when you're doing so many videos, you think same. They all look a bit the same. So I thought, well, let's mix it up. Let's do something new. So I'm glad a lot of people like that, which is great. Boateng to Liverpool, says Lander King. Well, Liverpool are doing a lot of business. They're very, very quick. Anyway, let's talk about let's do Golovin because I keep forgetting to do him, and he is actually on the headlines of the show. It's Ronaldo, Milinkovic-SAVIC, and Golovin. So Golovin third. Aleksandr Golovin. Again, people are going to go, oh, well, who's he? What a load of rubbish. You know what? I'm going to defend this. I'm not going to defend the source because it's in the Sun and the Metro, so it's probably a load of nonsense, and it may well just be Mourinho was watching Russia against Austria, who's a decent player for Russia, and that could be what it's about. He probably was looking at Arnautovic, and Damarcio said 2 weeks ago we were linked to him. But Aleksandr Golovin, who is he? Well, if United were in for him, you would be saying these words that I think I saw in the Metro as well. He's seen as a Mata replacement. Who is he? He's just turned 22 about last week. He's 5'11". He's Russian. He's been playing for Russia for quite a long time. In fact, he was a focal point in the Russian team in Euro 2016. So he was in his teens then. Russia aren't a great side, but he is sort of their best player. They may not even get out of their group, Russia. Although they bloody beat me on FIFA the other night, didn't they, with France in the quarterfinals? God knows how that happened. I don't remember Golovin being that good in that game. But anyway, what sort of player is he? He's quick, he's skillful, he's energetic, he's tenacious, he can play either side of the midfield, he can play box-to-box midfield, but his best position is probably around that sort of number 10 attacking midfielder position. So if he was to come in, he probably would be a Mata replacement. But it's a weird one, and if I was going to rate this out of 10, I would give it a 3, because I just don't think it's going to happen. You'd probably get him for a decent price, maybe 20 million, but if Mata was going and you're replacing him with Golovin, that's not the signing that's going to win us the title next year. He's a decent player. He is a decent player. But he's a decent player if you've already got a very good team. If you're Man City and you sign him, that's a good signing for City because he's got potential. Can he do it? Let's see. United can't make those sort of signings at the moment. United have got to make signings that are going to be brilliant next year. You know, they might... If Mata goes, it's got to be a Bale. If Mata goes, it's got to be a Griezmann. If Mata goes, it's got to be a Dybala. Golovin, good player, could be brilliant, but it's too many ifs, question marks around him. And United can't be doing that sort of signing this summer. So I don't see it happening, but there you go. Sounds like a squad player, says London Contacts. He could be a good player. But it's like I say, it's too much. Too much of a risk. It's not the right sort of signing for United to make. It's probably the sort of signing Woodward wants to make because it's cheap, but it's... that these are not the signings that are what United need to do next season. We need to be bang going for it. And interesting article, actually, I read in the Daily Mail today. I think it was Mike Keegan who wrote it. So, I mean, you say Daily Mail and like that, but Mike Keegan, he's not too bad. And basically the article wasn't about transfers. It was about the preparation United had for the FA Cup final. Apparently Mourinho wouldn't let people have haircuts, no public relation exercise. It was all about preparation for Chelsea, and they didn't win. But what he was saying is Mourinho's fully aware of what needs to be done next year. It's a big year. We know it's a big year, and the signings we make have got to be for now, and they've got to be good. Zaha to United, says Angel Gabriel. I'd be stunned if Wilfried Zaha came back to Manchester United. I nearly said Louis Zaha. There's more chance of that, and he's retired. I would love to have Bale, but we won't be able to buy anybody else because Bale is so expensive and injury prone, says Robert Ingham. And like in the World Cup vid, says Alfie Munns. Yeah, if you, I'm having a bit of banter with that. I did Mexico today, so just a very little quick plug. Goldbridge Livestream is my new channel. I've been doing a lot of FIFA stuff on there, and every day this week from about Wednesday, I've been doing different countries as challenges. So I did France the other night, which went on till about 1 o'clock in the morning, quarterfinals, and lost in extra time. Did England, got out the group stage. Brazil, God knows what went wrong with Brazil. We didn't get out the group stage. And today I did Mexico, and I tell you what, it was good. It was very good. I was gutted, but it was a very good stream. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, Goldbridge live stream. Mark, you're saying that we need established talent, but you also complain when we're linked with players in their late 20s or 30s, says Kyron McCavish, and he does a little smiley face. I think you're dealing in absolutes there, and the only people who do that is Sith Lords. Are you a Sith Lord, Kyron? Because we need established talent, but that doesn't mean they're 29 or 30. Griezmann's 27. It doesn't mean they're 29 or 30. I mean, 29 and 30-year-olds could be over the hill. Like, Arnautovic is 29. He's not an established talent. He's a mediocre Premier League talent. Dybala is an established talent, and he's not even 25. So when I say established talent, I mean, you could be 21 and an established talent. Leroy Sané he's still got potential, but he's an established talent. That's what I mean by it. It's like Golovin's never played in this league. He's not really done anything of note in any league apart from the Russian league. He's not an established talent, and that's what I mean. Golovin would be great if you're bringing him into a team that's established, but we're not established. So I would be saying, if we're going to buy an attacker, go and get a Griezmann, go and get a Bale. Although, yeah, I agree with you, Bale, 29, injury prone, but I'd still take him over Golovin. But, I hope that makes it a little bit clearer what I mean. Established talent, Eden Hazard, Dybala, those sort of players. They're not all 29, 30. Any news on Anthony Martial? Apart from a picture in France, that's about it. We need players that can change a game, says Angel Gabriel. We do. And we've had a contribution here from Ali Hassani. He says, why aren't we like Barcelona and Madrid, where across their 11 they have arguably world-class players, but our squad is very average? Well, that's because of bad transfer activity over the last few years, isn't it? And it's going to take a while to phase out. Mark, another United channel, says Professor Zoom. Okay, yeah, sorry, shouldn't have read that. Not interested in that. Haters gonna hate. And I'd take Bale over Ronaldo, says Ham Howes. Well, I'm thinking of doing a video tomorrow on Bale and Ronaldo, so keep your eyes out for that, because I've got it all set up. Any news on Mbappe? No. BBC just tweeted about Bale. I'll have a quick look. But the next topic I want to talk about is Fellaini. I've sort of kept it back a little bit, I suppose, because I know a lot of people will. I've seen that before. Thanks for that. I've seen that. It's this isn't new news on Twitter from BBC at all. Basically, they're just saying that Bale probably won't leave Real Madrid now because Zidane's left. But what does that mean? The new manager could be somebody who doesn't like Bale, so we don't know anything about that. And if it's Guti, who I think it could be, who used to play for them, he's probably going to be more like a Zidane coach. So, because he worked for Zidane. Anyway, let's talk about Fellaini. There was a time when this would have been the leading story, me slagging Fellaini off, because I was out last night actually with Flex and a few others and Sophie, and I was saying probably the United stand sort of started off as a vlog. And I used to go in hard on players because it was just a vlog. And since it's become the United Stand, and it's your channel as much as it's ours, and it's everybody's to share their opinion, you have to have a level of professionalism. So I think 2 years ago, if Fellaini'd left, I would have gone live and had a party. Inside I will, but I'm not going to be jumping around because when Fellaini leaves, I think that's those days are gone. So But a lot of people are getting very... I mean, Manchester United, fair play to them. They're brave. They tweeted about Fellaini today, and I actually replied to them on their tweet and said, this time, the replies on this are going to be interesting. And it was just absolute abuse. Absolute. A few people saying sign Fred, announce Fred, but just absolute abuse. Because the latest story about Fellaini is that United wanting to decide his future in 48 hours. Like, he's got us on a lead. He's got us on a leash, if you're in America, lead. Because there is still a contract on the table that Mourinho, apparently, is frustrated that United have not got Fellaini to sign it. So Mourinho still wants Fellaini at Manchester United, even now, is what they're saying. And that contract is still on the table for Fellaini to sign, whilst he wanders around Europe with his agent, ringing up clubs saying, pay me 10 million a year. And they're all going, beep, and he's like, beep, beep, beep. And he's like, well, we've still got this one with United. It's good money. No, I'm going to keep phoning round. Robert Ingram, thanks for the contribution. He says, I like Fellaini. He's reliable. Well, he's not that reliable. He won't sign the bloody contract, will he? So, yeah, I think people like myself want Fellaini to go because of his footballing ability. It's just anti-United way that I like. But I think some fans are actually beyond that now. They really don't like how he spoke about the club a few weeks ago, saying, acting all the big I am, and now he's got them on a lead. Basically, as I said before, he's like that. He's like that girl or boy. You're out in a nightclub. You've got your partner who is a 5 out of 10, but you can go home with them dead easy. But you might fancy a little dance on the dance floor to see if you can pull an 8 or a 9. And at the end of the night, if you don't pull an 8 or a 9, you go home with the 5 out of 10. And that's what it feels like with United at the moment. We're the 5 out of 10 with the contract there. And Fellaini, he's got his disco shirt on and he's dancing his way around Europe trying to pull that 8 or 9. And if he pulls them, it will tear that contract off and walk away. But if he doesn't, I'll make do with you. And I think that's the irritant, isn't it? It's like it's like if this was Pogba, you'd understand it out of contract. But it's Marouane Fellaini. So it is frustrating, but hopefully it looks like Fellaini wants to go, so he might save us. Susan McKinney says, had enough of Fellaini, his attitude is abysmal. Well, there was that rumour that Fellaini was training with the kids before at the end of the season, so what's true? Was he outcast and training with the kids, or are we begging him to sign a contract? What is the truth? Thanks for that, perfect analogy. Yep, Fellaini is consistently inconsistent, says Billy T. What's your other channel called? Liam Kenny says. Goldbridge Livestream is my FIFA channel. And then we do That's Football as well, which you must subscribe to. That's Football, because that's where we're going to be doing all the World Cup watch-alongs. So if you fancy doing watching some World Cup games in the style of the United Stand watch-alongs, but for the World Cup, That's Football's the place to be. Who's our most likely signing, in my opinion, says Rab Nation. We'll chuck yours in. I'll read some of them out. Fred. Beyond Fred and Dalot, then. It's a very good question, then, because Fred and Dalot are pretty much done, aren't they? Never say never, but they look done. So beyond those two, I still think Willian is very likely, but isn't going to happen till after the World Cup, because Chelsea haven't got a new manager yet. So Willian's obviously going to wait to see who the new manager is. By the time they've got them, well, he's already part of the World Cup squad for Brazil. By the time he comes back, it's the end of July. So I don't think Willian will happen until end of July, early August. But I do think that that's going to happen. As a sort of obscure one, I think it will happen. I want Milinkovic-Savic to happen, but I'm not confident. I'd like Ronaldo to happen, but I'm totally not confident. I'd like a centre-back to happen, but I'm not totally convinced we're going to get Alderweireld. I'd like Sandro to happen, but that's gone quiet. So, yeah, it's very difficult. Beyond Fred and Dalot, it's very, very difficult. Momentum Stock says Fred. Red Magun says Fred. Ronaldo says Alex Byrne. Just Has says Ronaldo. Good to see a few people saying Ronaldo. Griezmann says Abu. I was out last night with somebody who said Griezmann's going to happen. Don't know why they think that. Mark, surely Thiago at a rumoured 50 million is an absolute no-brainer, says Byron Leopold. Yeah, Thiago's good, but I'd say he's quite similar to Fred. Well, not similar, but the closest sort of thing to Fred. So why would you get Thiago and Fred? I just don't think we would do it. He is a top centre midfielder, though. I agree with you, Kieran Byrne. What about Mark, thanks for keeping us updated all the time about the transfer news, says Peter Moyer. Thanks for all you lot getting involved and giving us your comments about it. I like Jamie Berry. I really like him. I really like Jamie Berry. I don't know what he's like on the football pitch, but I really like his comment there. He says Skriniari, who I don't pronounce very well, but he's the centre-back at Inter Milan. I think he's about 22, Slovakian, and very, very similar to sort of like a Vidic sort of centre-back. No nonsense, decent player. City quite like him, United quite like him. There was rumours of a £57 million bid being rejected. Inter Milan don't want to sell him, and they are in the Champions League. So I don't think we could do that deal, but I do really like him. I like him a lot. But Inter Milan are difficult to deal with, as we know with Perisic. They held out, didn't they? And we couldn't do the deal. Mass Bob says, if we don't get Sandro, which of the left back should we go for? I don't know about you lot, but I actually feel that if we don't get Sandro, don't sign anyone. Go with Luke Shaw. The only problem with that is that if Luke Shaw stays, Mourinho will still pick Ashley Young over him. If we sign Sandro, Sandro will start. But if we can't get Sandro, I'd just keep Luke Shaw, because Danny Rose, no. And there is no other left back really in world football that I would want other than Marcelo. So it would be, if we can't get Aleksandr, I wouldn't sign a left back. I like Mbolo. Says best game trailers. I don't know whether he's bantering me there, because I got that wrong, didn't I, a couple of years ago. I said it was a done deal and it didn't happen. But there we go. Demarcio's just tweeted about Emre Can, who we know is going to Juventus. We need Boateng in our defence as Anthony Muller. I sort of think Boateng could happen. 29, he's a little bit injury prone. I know a lot of people are on about Alderweireld, but I think he could happen. He sort of fits in with what United need, which is a left-sided centre-back. I think if we're going to sign a centre-back, though, it does need to be a centre-back who is top stroke world class. As I've said before many times, we've got too many centre-backs who are very good, but we haven't got enough top-class centre-backs. Would you put Boateng in a top-class centre-back? Is he that much better than Lindelof and Rojo and Smalling and Jones? I think Alderweireld is, but I'm not so sure about Boateng. Alfie Munns likes the top. Yeah, I tell you what, I feel a bit hungover today, and I was like, I've had a t-shirt on all day, but then the temperature's dropped, and I just felt like, I just need something to just make me feel comfortable, and it is nice and comfortable. It's bloody expensive though. Is Fred better than Fellaini? Says Bavishan Raju. I've never seen you play football, Bavishan, but you're better than Fellaini. Fred looks a very, very good player. Very, very good player. Low centre of gravity. Good on the ball, Brazilian flair, quick, likes to get into a tackle as well. He's small, which I think is a good thing because we haven't got any small midfielders. Everything there, to me, that looks like a good signing to make. On top of that, Pep wanted him, which I know it's sad to say that, but they are a very good footballing team. And if he saw something in him, that's encouraging. I'm quite surprised Mourinho's gone for a player like this. I've always said, if you're under 5'9", you've got no chance. So it is good. The only issue with him is, can he handle it in this league? And that's the risk, isn't it? Ahmed Hamad has made a contribution. Thank you, Ahmed. He says, I don't care how hard negotiations are. This is Jose's third summer. He should fill positions we need and have a plan B and C for each position. No more saying our squad is less than Sevilla again next year. I agree with you, Ahmed. I think it's a great comment. And you're right. We have no excuses next season. We were talking about this last night on the United stand, sort of the presenters meeting up, and somebody said, and I won't say who, they were like, I'm not, next season's just going to be more of the same. And I said, but at the end of the day, next season's going to be a good season for Manchester United fans, because we're either going to win the league or it's going to be like last year. And if it's like last year, he's gone. Mourinho's finished. And then we're going to get a new manager. And then we're going to start again. Of course, my preference is he gets it right and we win the league, because I don't want another rebuild. But we won't be in this situation next summer saying, what a terrible season of football that was by Mourinho, grinding out third or second place again. He'll be gone. He can't do it for another year. So that's the exciting thing about next season for me. We're either going to win the league and it's going to be the best season in years, or, horrible worst case scenario, Mourinho continues like he is and he'll be gone. and then we will have a change. So I think, I know it's not an absolute positive, but we won't have this next summer. Sounds like Flex said that, says Vince Chapman. Yeah, probably. I'm going to throw him under the bus. It probably was Flex. Why we never go for Mahrez? I think he's a good player, says Peter Moyer. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. He's going to City anyway. My Unc wants a definitive answer on whether Fred's going to be successful in a United shirt. The only thing that makes me say, because this could be used as a clip when he flops, I think he is going to be a success. I think he's got everything to be a success. And some of his best performances were in the Champions League, playing against Italian clubs, playing against English clubs. So it's not just been in the Ukrainian league. So I think he's got everything to be successful. My only concern is, and there are a lot of Brazilians that are doing well in the Premier League in recent years, but United have never really had a Brazilian do well. Anderson, Cleverson, inconsistent really. So he's got a lot to live up to, because from a Brazilian point of view, I mean, Rafael was good, but why did we sell him? And he didn't play every week anyway. So that's my only concern. We don't have a great record with Brazilians. Professor Zoom, Darmian finally effing off tomorrow, is he, Mark? Says Professor Zoom. Thanks for that contribution. Well, Darmian's going to go, isn't he? Darmian's going to go. So effectively, I think by the World Cup, we'll have at least 2 in and 1 out, which isn't amazing, but it's a good start. Pogba's playing Italy at the moment, apparently. I'm thinking about doing an England watch-along tomorrow on That's Football, actually, 5 o'clock, if people want to join me. I'm not watching France versus Italy at the moment, Sareem, though, because I'm live with you lot. Stephen Kelly, Mark on the fence again. I'm not Flex. I don't sit on the fence. So I'm going to say Fred is going to be a success. Yes. I really like him. I like the look of him. I think he's got all those attributes. And I'm very pleased with Mourinho for signing a player like that, because it's totally against what he normally does. Angel, I've read about you before. I've read your comments before. Who's going to wear the number 10 shirt? Says Deep Petcar. Well, I'll throw it to you lot. Who's going to wear the number 10 shirt? Because I'm not totally sure. I mean, if Ronaldo came, would he have number 7 back? And would we then shove Sanchez into number 10? I don't think we're going to sign a number 10. I think someone's going to move into the number 10 shirt. And who's that number 10 going to be? Jesse Lingard might have it. I mean, he shouldn't have it. He's not a Manchester United number 10, but he's very well thought of by the club, by the fans, and by Mourinho. So Jesse Lingard could get it. I'd be disappointed in that. I haven't got a problem with Lingard. I think he's a really good squad player, but I just don't think you can win a title with him in the starting team. So, but I do think it will go to somebody within the club, because I don't think we're going to sign a number 10 to wear that shirt. But Durrani says Griezmann, Dybala, Pogba, says David De Gea, Rashford, yeah, Fellaini, well, you never know. Give it to Fred, says SJ89 Real. Pogba for number 10. Herrera could wear 10. Pogba should be number 10, says CA93 and Matt Wall. Ronaldo won't wear 10, I don't think, Josh, if we get him. Griezmann 10, says Dragon Ball Theories. So, yeah, I do think, I won't sit on the fence, I do think it will come from somebody within the club. Yeah, I do. Could remain vacant, says Stavros M. It could. And Tyrone says the number 10 shirt should be worn by Paulo Dybala. I hope. And Engineer says Lingard can win as titles, Mark. I think Lingard's going to have a good World Cup, by the way. Mainly because international football is crap. And it is crap. And I'll argue that with anybody on That's Football tomorrow night. But also England's team's crap. And Lingard is probably one of the best players in that England team. So I think I think Lingard will have a good World Cup. If people jump on the bandwagon because he has a good World Cup, international football is a million miles away from Premier League football. In fact, if England were playing in the Premier League, they'd be battling in the bottom half. The international football's not that good, because it's just people thrown together. You'd never have a squad like that England team, never in a million years. So I think Lingard will have a good World Cup, but I genuinely don't think you can win a Premier League title with him in the team. But I'm going to be balanced and say I don't think you can win a title with Herrera in the team. And I love Herrera, but I don't think I think you need better in the midfield these days when you look at what other teams are doing. I think Herrera's a brilliant bench player. I think Lingard's a brilliant bench player. I think obviously Ashley Young is a decent squad player. But these are the positions, you've got to have a proper left back. You've got to have a really good midfield three. And I think it's got to be Pogba, Matic and one other. You've got to have 3 really good attackers. And Lingard would be an impact player off the bench for me. But that's just my opinion. Again, you can't win a title with Smalling or Jones in your back four, either, in your centre-backs. You can't do it. Yannick's Gamer says, and from what I've seen, Savic plays like Pogba. A lot of people feel we can't get Milinkovic-Savic if we keep Pogba, and I understand that. I do understand that. The glaring question is, we're going to sign Fred. Matic, Fred, Pogba. Why are we going to spend £100 million on Savic when where is he going to play? And that is an important question. But then you go back to what we were talking about at the start of the week. Would you get rid of Pogba for Savic? I mean, Pogba's not set the world on fire, has he, over the last 2 years? But again, he's a bit like Mourinho. I feel he's got to be given that 3rd year. Robert Ingram says, I think we're going to get Willian. Tuso, brilliant comment. He says, how old are you, Mark? You look so young. And that's after a night out on the drink as well. And I still look young. Thanks for that. Money's in the post. France are losing 2-0 to Italy, apparently, says Walter. I might go and pop and watch a little bit. Usman says, I don't think we're going to get Savic. I think he's going to Madrid. Yeah, Tyrone just said there, international football's not... I hate the international breaks, especially around September, October, November. I hate the international breaks. And I used to love international football, but the quality's not there. But when the World Cup comes round, we all get into it. It's nostalgia. It only comes round every couple of years, Euros and then the World Cup. So I do enjoy the tournaments, and they are a novelty, but they're not the be-all and end-all. And when they're over, you're not like crying, are you? It's like, yeah, let's get the Premier League back up and running. Let's get the Champions League back up and running. That's where the real focus is. But it wasn't like that when I was a kid. It was all about the World Cup, and that was the big excitement. So... but I will do a watch along tomorrow night at 5 o'clock on That's Football, so make sure you've got over there and subscribed. We'll watch England play Nigeria and look at Nigeria's beautiful kit. I keep seeing the name Sam, I'm not doing a watch along tonight. That game's already started. Keep seeing the name Felipe Anderson coming up, and then I can't find the comment. Fred's not signed yet, no. Gungshi says, I don't look a day over 50, thanks. Shout out for Dylan Hart. Okay. England are going to win it this year, says Robert. And then you're going to wake up. Matthew McFadden doesn't like the Nigerian kit. I can't imagine me rocking it, to be honest. I go for more simplistic looks of style. Talisca looks like a load of nonsense, as I said. I always think that when it's a Benfica player. I'd always get linked to them. I don't think Talisca's coming at all. James Howell, thanks for the contribution. He says, we have been dysfunctional since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Only Jose has changed. We need to bring back we are the best club in the world mentality. Good point. We do. Zane Scope loves the Nigerian kit. It's a divider. Kevin O'Callaghan mentions Andreas Pereira. Yeah, keep your eye on that. We certainly will over the summer. Pereira and Fosu Mensah, keep your eye on those two. I think they should be part of the first team squad next season. Twansibi needs to go back out on loan. Maybe Chong and Gomez. I think they're going to probably play more reserve football next year because they're from the under-18s predominantly. But Fosu Mensah and Pereira next season. I hope Jose doesn't stick to that stupid thing that he said a few months ago. I have one youth player every year, though, because that means we're going to lose Fosu Mensah or Pereira. And I think keep them involved. So if we buy too many players, they won't get their chance either, will they? So... yeah, keep your eye on that. We haven't signed anyone yet. Anyway, Hanji, we haven't. And any Monaco players linked, says Razine Raffle. It's funny, isn't it? This time last week, I just got home from the pub. I went live. We've been linked to Fabinho. I was really pleased. It's had about 100,000 views, that video, because loads of Scousers keep watching it now to try and tell me I'm taking the L. Well, actually, last Friday, it was from French reports that we were in for him. And all we did is we were live talking about how much we like him. We can't hide that. And then 2 days later, he signs for Liverpool out of nowhere. So it just shows you how this transfer window can go. I'm a little bit... I'm like that batsman just fielding off the long ball, the quick at the moment. Anybody we're linked to, I'm sort of like, is one of our rivals going to come and nick them? Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to go and watch a bit of this France-Italy game now. I had forgotten it was on. Try and get in the World Cup mood. France 2, Italy 1. Bonucci's just scored. Thanks for that, Ricky Clarkson. Please do drop a like on the video. We've gone past 500 likes, so you never know. We might hit 1,000 likes before we go off there. So please do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Make sure you've got your notifications on, which is your bell underneath. Click the bell and tick to get all notifications. The reason I always say that in the summer, it's crazy. We could be live again at 10:30. There might be something in the late press. There could be something in the morning. Remember, Football Daily, Transfer Daily is Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. So tomorrow morning there's not a 7 a.m. show. On Sunday there's not a 7 a.m. show. But I guarantee we will be live at some point tomorrow with something, and the same on Sunday. And of course, 8 o'clock both nights we're live. So 8 o'clock show, 7 days a week. There will be stuff going up tomorrow. So make sure you've got your subscribe, your notifications on. I might see you at about 10:30. We'll see what happens. I've done the transfer. I've been doing transfers on the United stand for 3 years now. And one thing is for sure, I remember going live at 11:30 because Schweinsteiger was coming. So you just never know. You never know. Thanks everyone for watching. Fantastic as per usual. You all are. The United Stand Army. You are it. Keep spreading the word. Keep looking after each other. And we'll keep getting stronger together. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.